fragrance.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Study in the UK Q&A. I'm here today to introduce you to our fantastic new advisor, Ioana Batcu. Ioana is from Romania, and we're going to hear all about it. She's been studying in Derby, and she's here to tell us all about her experience in the UK. So don't forget, guys, comment below any questions you might have for Ioana here or for myself. To introduce me, you haven't seen me in a while. I'm Mariana. I'm head of advisors for OK Student, and we're going to be here for the next 30 minutes to 45 minutes answering all of your questions. So, Ioana, do you want to introduce yourselves to everyone?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Mariana. Thank you for the introduction. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ioana. I'm from Romania. I'm studying business at Derby in my final year, and I'm really excited to be here with you all today. I'm a student advisor at OK Student, and I've been having so much fun so far with this team. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing your questions today and answering everything you'd like to know about studying in the UK.
Perfect. So, Ioana, I wanted to ask you, how long have you been an advisor here with us? And yeah, basically, how long have you been an advisor with us? And how have you been finding the experience so far?
So I think I applied for the job around October or November last year, and I started a job in January. So I've been an advisor for about a month and a few weeks, I think. Not so long, but it feels, I don't know, it's been quite an interesting and challenging journey for me, simply because as a final year student, it can be quite difficult sometimes to balance everything on your schedule. But I think simply because I love the idea of the job and I do have so much fun all the time, it kind of got easier for me since I started. I don't see it as difficult as I had the tendency to see it at the beginning. And I wanted to become a student advisor since I started university about 2 years ago, 2.5 years. And when I finally got a job, I was so happy. And I couldn't believe it because somehow, because I ended up in the UK helped by an agency. And I realized how important it is for a student to get that kind of support and guidance. I really wanted to do the same. I really wanted to help the students, to guide them, to kind of have an engagement with them, not just helping them send the applications, and that's it. I really wanted to have a connection with someone and kind of guarantee that everything is going to be fine, everything is going to be so great for you when it comes to your development, both personally and professionally. So yeah, to answer your question, it's been great so far.
That's such a good answer, honestly, because that's exactly what we do here at OK Student. We focus on finding the perfect match for our students. So the perfect course for you, the perfect university, and the perfect location. We take care of everything around your university experience to make sure that you will, in fact, have the greatest experience that we can provide you. So what have you been doing in the last few weeks? I know I've been with you throughout the entire thing, but do you want to explain our audience what we do here when we get new advisors in, how we train you guys and everything?
Well, basically at the beginning, and I think it's kind of the same with every job you get. It's a couple of weeks. It's about a couple of weeks of training. So you get to know the team. You get to learn what you're about to do. You get full constant guidance and support from absolutely anyone in the team. So even if you've got, I don't know, some anxiety problems, as if I'm not going to make it until the end, I'm not going to be able to balance the job, because that was the case, Mariana, you know that. You can just pop in a message into someone's chat and they're all going to be so happy to help you. The first weeks, they've been really interesting for me because as student advisors, we get to learn about every university. We have representatives coming into different sessions and chatting with us about universities around the UK, and we get to learn cool facts about each university. And I think UPA is about each one of them. So that's been the first couple of weeks for me so far. Also, I managed to know a few of the other student advisors as well. We've got coffee breaks, which is really great because you get to chat nonsense for an hour with someone, and you get so much fun, and you feel like you're actually not at work. You're just kind of developing yourself professionally in a really cool way.
Exactly, because you even mentioned earlier, right, around time management and how you thought you were going to struggle with it and how you've improved all of your time management around that. So I'm assuming you have great like time management tips as well.
Yeah, exactly. Besides the fact that you kind of get to work on skills that are generally relevant, significant for a job after you graduate, you still get to socialize and meet new people around the world. And that's a really cool thing about our team. That's what I love, I think, the most, the fact that we're coming from so different cultures, different countries, but we still get to put ideas together and make a brilliant thing out of it and work together as if we've known each other for a very long time.
That's perfect. You mentioned as well, I'm really curious about this thing that you said where you wanted to be a student advisor like for forever. And you've been working with University of Derby for a while as well, right? Do you want to tell us about that journey and how it has been working with Derby?
Yeah, sure. That's actually one of my favorite stories to tell. So thank you for letting me say that. Well, I think I started working with Darby in my in my first year of uni towards the end of my first year. And I started in marketing, actually. I've been working with the marketing department for a while as a marketing representative. So I usually help in creating content. I'm part of different campaigns on social media. Branding, and it's all very interesting because you get to develop those practical skills you need besides the theory I was able to gain during my lectures, because I'm in business with marketing. So somehow I was blending that knowledge with the practical part of the job. And after that, after gaining some experience in marketing, I started as a student ambassador as well. So I was doing both of them. Sometimes I was working during the open days as a marketing representative. Sometimes I was doing it as a student ambassador. It was a very blended approach for me, and it was a really fun one. And sometimes I was doing them both at the same time just because I wanted to. I was really enthusiastic to do. I'm an workaholic as well, so that comes from me. And after that, when the pandemic started, I actually started working with our recruitment officer from the University of Derby. And if she's watching us, I'm saying hi right now. Thank you, Michaela, for everything. And yeah, I've got so much fun as a recruitment. I think actually Michaela introduced me properly in the work of a student advisor, and she really made me love it, and she made me gain more experience. So yeah, that's been my journey so far. I've been working quite a lot with University of Derby, and I think that truly made me love my experience as a student, because I think it's really important to have initiative as a student to be able to get a great experience.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's more than the university. As you as a student also need to make sure that you take away all of the resources that you want, that you take advantage of this experience that basically is once in a lifetime experience.
Yeah.
So going back to your story and your journey, you're saying you came to the UK through an agency and you went to University of Derby, right? So
Yeah.
what did you study at Derby?
So I initially applied. That's quite an interesting story, because I initially applied. Well, back then in high school, when I was still undecided about what I truly wanted to do, I wanted to apply in journalism, creative writing, maybe literature. But then I got my advisor, and we just started basically putting everything on balance on a list, all my options basically. And then we ended up saying, because she told me to kind of make a list of the things I love the most, of my hobbies and passions. And one of them was traveling. And she told me, oh, if you really love traveling, why don't you go for a tourism, for a hospitality course? And I said, that might be interesting. Why not? Though I've never thought I would actually end up in life, I don't know, working in tourism. And I applied for that, and I got accepted. And a couple of weeks before enrolling, I decided I want to change it, because I realized that's not me at all. So I changed for business with marketing, because I said that's kind of between tourism and journalism. Because I said, oh, I initially wanted to come to the UK and open my own publishing house. I wanted to do something with related to journalism writing, as I said so far. So then I was like, I'm doing business, so I'm gonna learn how to be self-employed one day. And at the same time, by doing business with marketing, I'm gonna also learn, and I'm gonna touch more kind of creative facts about the industry through marketing. And then maybe I'll be doing a master in publishing or creative writing. So that was my plan. That's how I ended up here. Obviously, now it's just all changed completely. But
Yeah, that's right,
it's
because
normal.
you're applying for your master's now, right?
Yeah, I'm currently in the process of applying for my master's, and I'm going to do master's in marketing management. So it's not publishing at all. But again, I talk to my parents all the time, and I keep telling them that's completely fine to change your mind as long as you get another perspective in life and you know what you want to do at the end of the day. And yeah, I got to the conclusion that's not just an excuse; that's actually a fact for me. And you don't have to know all the time what you want to do. I was really confused in high school about what I'm going to do in life, to be fair. And I was really anxious because all my friends, most of the friends around me, they used to say, oh, I want to go for medicine, I want to go for law, I want to go for engineering. And I used to say, I want to go for something, but I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm going to find out one day. And I think I managed to find out eventually. It's been challenging, but it's been, when I say challenging, I'm not saying it in a negative way. I'm saying it as if it's been very adventurous for me to do so, because I've never expected myself to just jump on it and just be so spontaneous when moving to the UK.
It's
But
really
yeah.
good, but how long did it take you to plan that as well? Because wait, let me imagine. So you were about 18, you were in Romania. Where did you live in Romania as well?
I'm from Bucharest.
So Bucharest, you were in Bucharest and you were with your parents. And did you go to the agency on your own? Did you know that you could study in the UK before you went to the agency?
I like to say I knew I want to study in the UK since forever. So I have this inside joke with my parents, and my mom used to say, I think you wanted to study in the UK before actually knowing where London is, or what exactly London is, or what exactly UK is. But you were just saying as a kid, oh, I want to study abroad. I want to study in the UK. Because the only thing I remember I knew about the UK was the flag, and I really liked the flag as a kid.
Oh my God, you could have been a British nationalist.
Pretty much, pretty much. And I think I knew in high school, at the beginning of my high school, so we get 4 years in high school. And at the beginning, in the ninth grade, I said, well, we're going to get an agent for sure. And then my mom contacted this agency when I was in the 10th grade to ask them about different details, costs and stuff. So that was quite early. And I really liked the fact that she took initiative without actually asking me first. So they were actually really, as much as I was investing in my plan, because it was just a plan back then, I didn't know if I'm going to actually make it to the UK. They were the same. I was daydreaming on one side of the room, and they were doing exactly the same because they knew that's what I wanted to do.
That sounds really supportive. Your parents must be really supportive of you.
Yeah. It's I'm not saying it was easy for them, but they were indeed really supportive during the entire process, and they're still very supportive, and they still manage to calm me down sometimes, because I have different situations at uni. For example, when I'm just gonna call my mom and I'm gonna be like, I'm not gonna make it to the end. I'm not gonna graduate, just so you know. But they just keep telling me it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay. You've managed to do it so far, and you've managed to move to another country. Think about it. And when I talk with different students sometimes, and I realize there are lots of people in the same situation as I used to be, I like saying, just don't put so much pressure on yourself, because that's what I did, and it wasn't good. And it's not recommended. Just try to take it step by step. Try to have some fun. Try to make it count, because that's why you want to move here, to just have a new experience, to have a new, to kind of get out of your comfort zone. And once you accept the fact that oh, I need to do it. I need to maybe become, I'm not saying, because I used to be an introvert, and I know you, Mariana, used to be the same. And I'm not saying, oh, I'm a completely extrovert now once I moved to the UK, because that's going to be a lie. But maybe I'm an ambivert, not an extrovert. Or maybe I'm still an introvert deep down inside, but somehow I still managed to have fun because I learned how to embrace the idea of being here and how to make every experience count.
Exactly. So ultimately, like, the UK helped you grow quite a lot, because that's how I feel with like the introvert extrovert thing, is like I just became a much more confident person while I was in the UK. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, I feel as if I wouldn't have this experience, I wouldn't have the same perspective in life right now. This is a huge thing to say, and I don't want to brag about anything. I don't want to make it look like UK is the best place to live and study in the world. You're gonna have the perfect experience. No, you're gonna have, as I said before, and I'm gonna keep saying that, you're gonna have plenty of challenges, and there's going to come a time in your experience when you're going to just sit down and say, what was in my mind when I decided to leave my country and move to another one on my own? But you're going to calm down. You're going to, I don't know, you're just going to look at a bigger picture. Maybe you're going to learn, as I said, on your journey to get a new perspective. And at some point, you're just going to realize that was the best decision for me. Because if I would still be in my country and if I would still be living with my parents, probably I wouldn't be as independent as I am now. Probably I wouldn't enjoy things as much as I do now, because I would still kind of be, I don't know, have this idea that I'm still maybe a teenager. So I wouldn't know how to start enjoying things as a I don't want to say as an adult, because I don't think of myself as an adult yet.
But I think nobody does, to be fair.
I think nobody wants to. Maybe as a pre-adult, or maybe as a mix of them. And that's I think that's really cool. That's a great feeling for me to just have my own life in hands, and to be able to make great things out of it. It builds your confidence, but in a really good way. It doesn't make you an arrogant, but it makes you self-confident. I don't really know how to explain it.
No, I fully understand that. And I fully agree as well. I think the experience, like, and having gone to the UK as well and having lived that experience, I think it does make you grow up much faster. It makes you take responsibility much faster. It's definitely like quite a good life experience if you're willing to go through the challenges. As Ioana has been saying, it's going through the challenges and also using those challenges to learn more about yourself and to develop yourself continuously. And yeah. I want to go back to something that you mentioned before, which is about your parents, where you were saying that it was hard on your parents as well. And I fully relate to that. I've had situations in my first year, for example, where my mom would call me on Skype at like 4 a.m. because she had had a terrible dream about me. And it was so difficult for her. And I think we really underestimate that sometimes, how difficult it is for parents to also make this decision of allowing their child to go to the UK. I really think that the way your parents supported you is exemplary. And it's definitely the way that parents need to react to these situations and need to support their kids in developing themselves and growing as well. It's like spreading your wings and growing into another country, into like a whole different life that they hadn't expected for you. But it's also very difficult to do that. And I think it's important to pay attention to parents when they're kind of hesitant about letting their kid come to the UK or go and study abroad or whatever, because those issues that they have, or those concerns, are really, really powerful. So do you remember some concerns that your parents had when you came to the UK?
I think it was all over concerns, but that's just a coma, me starting to give you more details on it. One thing I learned since I moved here, and I hope I'm not gonna sound crazy or anything to the people that are watching right now, but I really learned to talk to myself. So every time I'm going through something, I try to look at the situation, as I told you earlier, to look at the bigger picture. And every time in my first year, I was going through different misunderstandings, or I don't want to say arguments, but there were some arguments with my parents, as if my mom would call me, I wouldn't pick up. She would call me out of 20 other times after, and I would pick up an hour later because I would take a nap, or I would be at uni and I wouldn't hear my phone. They would really freak out, obviously. And initially, I couldn't really understand the fact that they were just worried. Obviously, your 18-year-old doesn't pick up the phone. She's in another country. You don't know exactly where she is. You don't know what she's doing, because it's not like you can follow her phone or anything. It's normal for you as a parent.
Gladly.
And as I said at the beginning, I couldn't really get their point of view, but with time, I just learned to say, kind of, you know what, cut them some slack, because if just I'm thinking of my little cousin right now, because she's been like my sister, let's say, and she would come to me one day and tell me, "Oh, I want to move to another country to study." I would be like, "Oh, wait, you're gonna be on your own. But that's not good. You're gonna be. What if you got any problems? What if you need help? What if, I don't know,
what if something happens?
Exactly.
Exactly.
So yeah, we've got these kind of situations as if me not picking up the phone, me going out with friends and not telling them, and I would come back, I don't know, later in the evening, let's say, and I wouldn't respond to any of the messages, because my mom's got this habit of messaging me every day. Every night she's going to sleep, she's just messaging me saying good night.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, and I don't answer all the time. I don't reply all the time. I'm doing my best. But I'm not really consistent. But she got used to it now. Now she's more calm, and she kind of learned as well to maybe cut. As I said, I learned how to cut them some slack. They did learn the same thing, to cut me some slack when I say I'm okay, and if I would have any other problems, if I would ever have problems, I would obviously give you a call immediately. And
Of course.
Yeah,
but it's been 4 years as well. They get used to it, but it's definitely really important to kind of think about the parents when we're having these conversations, and also kind of connecting parents. I think that's one of my objectives at the moment, is try to connect parents so that they can call their children's friends or their children's friends' parents when they're in those situations. Because I just remember my mom being so, and what, or better, the story that you told about your cousin, I immediately related, because my niece is 13 years old. She really wants to study abroad, and that's something that we're going to have to face. And it's always the same type of concerns of like, how are you going to do this? But at the same time, it's kind of this understanding that you were talking about, of parents needing to understand their children and children needing to understand their parents, is also a lot of part of this growing up situation that is kind of like faster because the person's going to the UK, right?
I'm going to say something that I think everyone already knows. It's something we should apply when it comes to everything in our lives: job, studies, personal life. Communication is key. And if you communicate with your parents, and if you keep them updated on everything, because maybe you're already quite independent in high school, and you want to carry on with your application by yourself, let's say, you don't want to include your parents as much, but it's really good to give them an update from time to time, to try to include them as well. That's really important, to kind of go and ask for their advice. Maybe you already know what you're going to do, but the fact that you go to your parents and tell them, hey, I decided, what am I going to do? What do you think? I think that's really important. That's what I try to do with my parents before and after moving here. Just a simple text or a 1-minute call a day I think it saves lives.
It
Genuinely.
definitely saves some white hair, some gray hairs, and some wrinkles, right?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting, and I think it's also about communicating with kindness. I think a lot of the
Yeah.
times when we're young, and I felt this a lot with my mom while I was growing up, where I wasn't really putting myself in her situation or in her shoes. So I think it's what you were saying of like, oh, I couldn't understand why my parents were doing this, and I know that when my mom used to call me at like 4 a.m., for example, I would feel like, oh my God, you don't trust me, but that's not what's happening. Is they trust you and they know that you can do whatever it is that you've proposed yourself to doing, but they're worried that something else might have happened to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. My mom has this thing. She's still telling me that from time to time, and she's saying, "I do trust you. I just don't trust the people around you there because I don't know everyone. Maybe I do trust your flatmate because I do know her, but I do not know all the people you might happen to hang out with, or I do not know the environment, as if I don't know the people in the city. I don't know the people at the uni. I don't know the context there. Maybe it's something happening in this specific country or in that specific city, and I'm not aware of it. So it's not about not trusting you. It's about not trusting the environment, basically. And I think
Exactly.
that makes sense. That pretty much makes sense.
Definitely, definitely. So, guys, I just want to do a quick check-in with you and tell you what we're doing here. So, welcome to the Study in the UK Q&A. We're back with our new advisors, and we're introducing them all to you over the next few weeks. So, this is going to be a weekly slot now, every 2 p.m., every Tuesday at 2 p.m. We're going to be introducing you to a new advisor. And today we're talking to Ioana, who's one of our new advisors for our Europe team. So, Ioana comes from Romania and is telling us all about her journey in the UK. She's been here for 4 years, guys, so she's got a lot to tell us. So definitely stay tuned. And don't forget, if you want to come to the UK and study, just send us an email at info@okstudent.com or send us your details through the link okstudent.com/book a meeting. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting used to these new links.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I've been trying to practice them for a while, but somehow I just messed them up.
Very easy to mess things up and very, very normal. So I actually have a question that relates to this, and it's an embarrassing one.
Yeah, okay, I'm here.
What was your biggest mess up? Like the funniest, biggest mess up in the UK?
Oh my God, that's such an interesting question. Because I think there have been plenty. Um, I think if I would have to pick one right now, it would be so last year they well, not my entire second year, because at some point the lockdown started, so I couldn't really carry on with it. But I used to work as a bartender in a restaurant,
Okay, that's
especially
a
during the
place
week.
filled for all types of mess ups. Like, I want to get some popcorn and listen to the story now.
And we used to be extremely busy during the weekends. It was an Indian restaurant, and it's still an Indian restaurant because it's still in Derby, and it's the best in Derby, actually. Um, and I remember I messed up an order at some point really, really badly. And I took the drinks of a table to another table, as well as the food. And
Oh.
uh, I think I was really lucky because I was basically, my job was as a bartender. I wasn't really on the floor, but I was in that certain weekend. I was basically taking the place of someone else because one of my coworkers couldn't attend the shift. So because I wasn't really experienced on the floor, um, at the beginning I said, shouldn't be a big deal. I mean, just take some orders, take the food, take the drinks, should be fine, right?
Coming from someone who worked floor of catering for
Oh
three
my God.
years, it is not easy.
not easy at all. And before starting doing that, when I would go out with my friends or my family, let's say, maybe I wouldn't fully understand all the time that server. I'm not saying I would be, I don't know, rude in any way. I'm just saying maybe I would be indifferent sometimes. I wouldn't be able to completely understand the job since I hadn't had the experience previously. And I think I was really lucky simply because my manager was very understanding because it was my first shift on the floor. But the customers, they weren't. They weren't really happy. I remember they were quite grumpy since they entered the restaurant. And
Oh
everyone
my
told me
God.
at the beginning, oh, be careful because we know these customers and they tend not to be the happiest. So I was like, I'm gonna make them happy. What are you talking about? I
I'm
messed,
gonna be the one to do it.
I messed it up so badly. But yeah, you can go through lots of embarrassing situations as a student. Again, that's completely normal. You learn. You come to the UK to learn. You get this job to learn, and we're all going through the same thing, I suppose. We kind of got that in common as students. Uh,
Exactly. And so, because of that, I wanted to ask you, like, because you've been in the UK for 4 years, as we talked about, and I wanted to ask you if you have like first year 101 type of things that people really need to do when they get to university.
well, first of all, and I think this shouldn't be. I'm gonna mention it, but I think everyone should do it, even if I would mention it or not. Make sure you attend every single event you're invited to. Make sure you attend it, and when you go to that event, make sure you just engage in conversations with everyone. If someone's approaching you, yeah, say yes to the conversation, go for it. If someone does not really approach you, but you think you should approach them, but you might be afraid, it doesn't matter. Go for it because they're afraid as well. Since they're not approaching you, they should be in the same situation. Everyone, as I said, everyone is in the same situation here. Um,
Exactly. I fully agree, especially coming from somebody who really hates talking to new people at parties. Every time that you see somebody standing alone at a party, they're feeling the exact same thing as you.
yeah,
They want somebody to go and talk to them so they don't look awkward. That's what I always think when I'm standing against like a wall at a party, thinking like, "Oh my god, I need to touch my phone because like I need to look like I'm doing something." I just want somebody to come and talk to me, basically. And
yeah.
that's exactly what everyone kind of feels.
Yeah, I completely get that. I think that's how I actually managed to meet few of my friends at uni, few of my very first friends.
So
Um,
that's exactly what I wanted to ask is like, did you meet your first friends through events and like, how was that?
yeah, I met a couple of my friends, and we still have this group. So it's still going on, which is great. I met them in a very first day of uni, but I was really afraid of approaching anyone. And one of the girls in the group came to all of us. She basically approached all of us, and that's how we formed the group at the end of the day. And by the end of the day, I was actually so happy she did it. I just started mumbling with everyone in the class. It's like I don't even care what's gonna happen right now. I'm just gonna go to everyone and talk to them. And then with my other friends, which is the other friends as part of the same group, we all kind of managed to get to know each other better at a party. Actually, in the very first weeks of freshers. So yeah, great things can come up once you decide you should just I don't know, you should just talk to people because there's no reason to be
Exactly.
afraid, and no one is gonna bite you or anything. Um,
Exactly. So I wanted to mention one thing. You mentioned freshers there. Do you want to explain what freshers is briefly for people who might not know
sure.
about it?
So freshers is basically I don't know about other universities, but the University of Derby, I think it takes about a week or two, if I'm not wrong. Hope I'm not wrong. And it's just it's just a time when you get to have so much fun because there are events all the time happening absolutely everywhere. You get to participate in different activities with the societies and clubs. You get to sign up. You get to go for free sessions if you want to try a sport or a society. I don't know, if you want to go for photography, you get to try a free session with that certain society and just see how it feels for you. You get free food, which is amazing at
That's the
Darby.
best thing of freshers is the free food,
You get
arguably.
stuff for 2 days. That's heaven on earth. You also get free stuff. Who doesn't love free stuff? I got plenty of free stuff from freshers, like mugs and bags and I don't know, hoodies and stuff like that. um, you get to engage with, I don't know, we've got, every university's got partnerships basically, and all the partners are going to attend freshers week, and
And
they're just
these
going to come.
partners are like health centers, like banks, this sort of thing, right? To help students set up their life in the
Yeah,
UK.
that's what I was
Yeah.
about to say. For example, for us, there were GP services, there were the bank or banks here in Derby. You get to create a bank account if you don't know how to, guidance basically on that. I don't know, even Amazon Prime, you get cheaper subscriptions as a student with that.
So
What
it's really
else?
useful. It's definitely really useful for a new
Definitely.
student to come to Freshers Week and to Welcome Week and do all the international orientation exactly because of this, exactly because there they actually get to help you with all of the things that you need to do, opening bank accounts, like trying to find a job, registering for the GP. You can count on your university to help you with all of this. I had a question for you about societies. And were you a part of any societies while you were at Derby? And what are the weirdest societies that you've come across?
Um, I was a bit a part of a business society at the beginning, but then because I was extremely busy with my jobs, I kind of, I kind of lived that a bit out of my schedule. I'm sorry, the business society. I had a great time there for a bit, but then I just didn't have time for it. Um, uh, we've
To
got
everyone
plenty of
watching from the business society, Ioana, sorry that she
apologies.
abandoned you.
Yeah. No personal reasons included. Yeah, there are actually lots of societies I heard of. The Harry Potter Society, which I was like, that's really cool, Harry Potter Society. Then it's basically the International Students Society, kind of, and I was part of that a lot in my second year, and we got this day once a week when we would meet up and I don't know, just bring some food from different countries, all of us, or play some games, or go out sometimes. And that's really great because every international student is included in that, and if you want to show up, you're more than welcome.
That's really good. That sounds
Yeah.
amazing. And it's really really good to know that international students are that welcomed into UK universities as well, because that's a lot of one of the questions that we get a lot is if people will be welcomed here, if there are people from their own nationalities here. So knowing that most universities, if not all universities, have an international student society, they have sometimes even the Indian society or the Portuguese society or the Romanian society,
Yeah,
then
definitely.
you'll be super welcomed here wherever you come from.
Yeah, yeah, there's the last thing you should worry about.
Exactly. So I have one last question for you. What did you bring? What should students bring to the UK when moving here for the first time?
Okay. I could honestly chat about that for an hour, but we're not gonna do
We
it.
have 5 minutes and you can list five essential
um,
items that the students need to bring with them.
oh, that's really interesting. Make sure, for me that was a must, and I advise absolutely everyone to do that. Warm clothes, jumpers. What else? Mariana, help me. Sweaters. Lots of jackets. Boots.
Thermals, man, thermals. That's the best thing ever. If you want to keep your style in the UK, you got to buy some thermals.
I agree. I completely agree with that. So that's an essential. Don't forget that. Then an umbrella. Bring an umbrella. I've got 3 umbrellas just to make sure. So bring an umbrella. What else? I don't know. Bring something you love, as in your favorite mug or your favorite, I don't know, plate. If someone's got a favorite plate, that's not a problem. I've got my favorite mug with me. What else? Um, Come on, give me some help, Mariana, because
I don't know. I think the thing that you love is really important. Where it's like,
yeah,
if you have a favorite pillow in your house, I know it's ridiculous to like bring pillows to the UK. It's ridiculous to bring duvets and things like that. But if you have that pillow that is like been with you for like years and it's like a comfort object, bring that. Bring
I
some
agree.
pictures of your friends and family as well. If you want to print them out, put them in your room, especially if you're going to be in university dorms, because you can put up anything on the walls.
Yeah,
Definitely bring that.
make it more homey, I think, and it's just gonna make you feel less, I don't know, as if you've just moved in an unknown environment. And room is just gonna make you feel more relaxed. Obviously, enjoy your time in your room, because that's really important to really be able to relax and get some rest without, I don't know, feeling uncomfortable in your room. I think that was really important for me when I came here, because I would spend lots of time in my room to study.
Yeah, so
I
feeling
just,
comfortable in your space is definitely something that's super important. And
yeah,
I think
personal
one of
space.
the things students sometimes like really undervalue. I know that I did that when I first went and studied in the UK. Was my space was the thing that I had the least care with, and that impacted my experience so much, because I just didn't want to be home because I didn't like the space that I was living in.
Yeah,
So it's really
yeah,
important that you take care of your space, that you have a place to study, and that you think about that. And honestly, if you're coming for first year, you're an undergraduate, I don't know what your experience was, Ioana, but I always recommend students to at least stay 1 year in university accommodation, exactly because it's much more stable. They have a full-time 1 year contract, and it ends up just allowing you to not only make friends, but be really close to uni and be able to actually create this space where you have a good place to study, to work, to live, to sleep, all of it.
yeah. I couldn't agree more. I think, um, yeah, we could mention accommodation as a must in your first year. You don't have to bring it with you, but you have to. You're gonna find it here when you come. It's just gonna wait for you, because it kind of allows you to get the full experience as a student. It's the perfect way to make friends. So you're gonna meet a lot of people in student accommodation. You're gonna make connections. You're gonna have so much fun. Promise you that. Unfortunately, actually, for me, I didn't live in student accommodation my first year, but all my other friends did. And simply because I moved to the UK with another friend, we said we're gonna go for a private house, and it's a decision we do still regret. Because we realized how much we actually missed on. And there was a time when I would just genuinely go to my friends and visit them in student accommodation every day to be able to socialize with other people. And I don't know, attend different events, because you get different events in student accommodation as well. As if,
Yeah,
I
at
don't know,
Anglia Ruskin, we had like paintball fights in the
we've got
accommodation.
cooking classes, which is great. Or they
One very useful activity versus one very useful activity. There you go. Cooking classes or paintball fights. There are two types of people in the world.
yeah, but they're both really fun. So
Exactly. Ioana, thank you so much for sitting down with me today. This was really, really nice. Such a good conversation, and I'm looking forward to us doing this again. Everyone who was watching us today, thank you so much. Ioana, is there anybody who'd like to thank here?
well, I'd like to thank you first of all, because you put up with me
That's
for,
it. That's
let's
what I
see,
was
44
that
minutes.
man, that's what I was waiting for. Thank you. That's the love right there that I need.
Thank you everyone behind the scenes as well, because there are a few people behind the scenes that's been working for this live to uh, be happening here today. Thank you everyone that's been watching as well. there are a few people that I know that they've been watching us. So I really hope they enjoy the Q&A. I really enjoyed it. I had a great time. I'm looking forward to the other one. I'm actually looking forward to the next one next Tuesday with Pooja, because
Exactly.
I want to hear her experience. She's full of experience. She's got an international perspective, and she's gonna. I know she's gonna bring so much useful advice for our international students. And yeah,
Absolutely.
uh,
Absolutely. As Ioana just said, next week, same time, same day, Tuesday at 2 p.m., we have Pooja here, who's going to tell us all about her 9 years of experience working in international student recruitment. She's one of our new advisors again, and it's going to be a great conversation. So, guys, tune in for the next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Thank you so much, Baron, for your
thank you.
comment. Thank you to everyone who watched us today. And don't forget, if you want to come and study in the UK, just send us an email at info@okstudent.co.uk or send us your details through okstudent.com/book a meeting. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you
Thank
next
you.
week.
See ya.